You not ashy, you foggy. Badasses need love too, and you know what? Hotepery happens. Welcome to your education in blackness with a Black Lady sketch show after show here at AfterBuzz TV.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey, AfterBuzzers! Oh my gosh, I am so excited to be here.
Yes.
My name is Nikki Bailey, and welcome to the after show for a Black Lady sketch show. I am joined on the amazing panel by Simone Thomas.
Hi guys, I'm so excited to be here with you.
And Sade Spence.
What up, guys? I'm super excited to talk about this show.
And our final panelist, Neema Skye, is going to sneak in during the show. She's running a little late, but we're going to start without her because we got a lot to talk about, y'all. Oh my God. Groundbreaking, history-making, new show on HBO, a Black Lady sketch show. They started off with just the most amazing, redefining ashy.
Where do we go from there?
It's fog.
They came out the box hot.
They were
Ashy hot.
Not ashy hot, right?
Ashy
Like it was
hot.
so hot, they skin got dry. So if you don't know, black people call dry skin being ashy because it makes your skin look ashy.
You look kind of crusty. Like a gross sister.
It's gross.
Yeah, exactly.
And so the first sketch is two beings running from a fog, and the fog turns out to be the ashy skin on Yvonne Orji's arm.
Yeah.
Hallelujah, Jesus. I am so incredibly excited about this show because ashy's been the term ashy since Jesus was a baby. That's what black people been using, but now these sisters have redefined it so that ashy is now fog. Are you guys going to adopt that now?
It sounds like prettier, nicer. Like,
right?
Yeah.
I'm not ashy, I'm foggy.
I mean, if the queens are saying it, I'm saying it.
I'm saying it, right?
I'm saying it.
I'm just saying, we are on some whole new stuff. Okay, so the intro to the show, we see all of our four main characters. The show stars Robin Thede, who was the head writer for the Larry Wilmore Show.
Yeah.
The first African-American female head writer of a television show.
Yep.
Yes, which is groundbreaking in and of itself.
In and of itself. So no wonder HBO gave her own deal. Holla. Ashley Nicole Black, who was a staff writer on Full Frontal with Samantha Bee.
Nice.
We got Gabrielle Dennis.
Love her.
She was an Insecure.
Okay.
And she was in the game, too.
We had a whole discussion about how
Yeah.
this woman can fly under the radar. She is able to be such a chameleon and shifts into so many different people. It's hard to pinpoint which show she was from and which character.
She's been in so many.
Yeah.
She's been in stuff, and because she can change her look so much, we were like, oh, is that the girl from the thing with the...
Yep.
Yeah,
She's
so...
been in Rosewood with Morris Chestnut.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of stuff.
And she was in the game, and I still don't remember.
Yeah.
Can really pinpoint it in my
She
brain.
was Janae on the game, I remember.
She's like Candace on Insecure, and we were like, how could... Yeah,
The hair.
She's in everything, basically.
So Gabrielle, basically, boo, we are just celebrating your chameleon-like actor ability.
Yes.
We cannot wait to see what else is going to come up. Then we have Quinta
love
Brunson,
her.
who...
I know.
We know Quinta from BuzzFeed.
Yeah. Yes.
She went viral with the whole video. She's standing in line at the movies and the dude is buying her good stuff and she's like, oh, he got money. Remember that? If you have not seen that sketch, you need to go ahead and find it. But we have four powerhouse black women comedians who are creating something that is amazing. And this show is executive produced by Issa Rae.
Which I am so excited for because we needed this right now. When I heard that Insecure wasn't coming back till 2020, I'm like, Issa.
Right, what I'm supposed to do.
What are you doing here?
Right.
Awkward black girls can't be left unattended.
Okay, we waited too long for you, Issa. You can't give us a whole long year break.
I know,
Yeah.
and for this to come out of the box with not 1, 2, but 3, 4 groundbreaking black women and all of the guests. You guys need to look at the guests. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. So I am a comedian, and so I come to this through the lens of producing. I produce a fat sketch comedy show here in Los Angeles. I do stand-up comedy. To me, this is a dream show. This is the thing I spent my life wishing I could watch on television. And I'm getting emotional just sitting here because I never dreamed this would be a thing, and it's going to change everything for everyone. Like, I mean, like we got a sketch show.
So how excited were you when you found out about the news?
When I heard about this show, I started stalking. I already stalked Ashley Nicole Black on Twitter. My stalking level went up higher, and I'm pretty sure she has a restraining order against me because I tag her constantly.
Have you DM'd her too?
I have not DM'd her. I'm trying not to be that girl.
Okay.
But
after the show, it's okay.
But I will be slotted into your DMs. So I am so excited that this show is on. It's a game changer, a groundbreaker. So let's start talking about these sketches, okay? So the first one that we saw after the amazingly hilarious puppet intro is that the show that they started with the girls are in a living room and they're playing a game of Never Have I Ever, and it gets funny. What was my favorite line from the Never Have I Ever sketch is when they revealed to us what a Flintstone dick is.
Yeah. Did you guys know?
No.
Okay, good. Because I was like,
okay. I felt like I got a lot of things that are probably going to be more obscure for other folks in terms of this show, but
that was new and amazing. I loved that. A Flintstone dick because you have to use your feet.
I thought they were gonna say small,
right?
Because I don't know. I was thinking like Flintstone gummies, or like that was probably the wrong.
I was imagining like a short squat dick, not like a not one for which you have to use your feet. That's where we're just FYI. That's the level of comedic genius we're talking about. Okay, that is where we are. The Cornell West love letter that Quinta accuses Ashley of writing, and then Cornell gives her a cease and desist.
It's hilarious. Yeah. I think it's also funny that they started to really break down like where this cancel culture lies too. Where we start drawing the lines like, oh well, you know. I think was it Robin who's like, what if I break into my neighbor's house? But I forgot which show is on. She's like, but this show is on, but it's like one like a primary black actor is on the screen. Can I watch it?
Right.
Like, well, breaking into the house might be okay, but if that show is on, no.
Right. But if Mel Gibson's in it, you can't watch it anymore.
Yeah. It's like, oh, so breaking into the house is completely fine,
right.
Borderline fine.
Right. Let me ask you guys, do you guys still have R. Kelly and Michael Jackson in your iTunes?
Nope, completely. I didn't even have a lot of R. Kelly to begin with, so that was really easy to just eliminate from my playlist.
Well, I don't even have iTunes, Spotify, but like, R. Kelly stuff, but hardly any. I think it was more of the features, which was actually kind of difficult when I started going through and was like, oh my gosh, I forgot that he sang the hook on this Jay-Z song.
Or
like, oh. But then I was like, but I'm not empowering you because my ears like it. Like, gotta go.
I actually never liked R. Kelly because the first time I noticed him was a song called "You Remind Me of My Jeep," or those were the lyrics, and I was like, that's not romantic, boo. So I have no interest in that. I still have Michael Jackson. I don't know how to I can't let go.
I have. It's there. I'll be perfectly honest. I have it. It's there. I haven't listened, and
I don't know.
I feel waves. I'm in feelings about that one.
I have
and I have thought about it before where I've been at events and they still actually play his music. You don't hear R. Kelly anywhere, but they still play Michael Jackson, and that kind of comes into my head like, oh, should we be playing it at this,
or they're even
store at this event? Should they really be playing it?
For the VMAs, they're conconsidering changing the Vanguard Award, and it's called the Michael Jackson Vanguard Award, and they're considering changing the name. So these
are things. What I loved about this is that this is stuff that people are struggling with. Like you know, whatever you think about R. Kelly and Michael Jackson, like they were accused of some stuff, and for those of us for whom those people are a huge part of their cultural expression and experience, it's hard. So I love that they even tackled this, you know, like that, because like, you're right. Like, do I have to stop watching the Lethal Weapon movies just because Mel Gibson's a racist? And I think that that's not fair.
Or like Pulp Fiction, which was by Harvey Weinstein. There's so many classics, but I think it's interesting because we're quick to cancel people for sometimes petty things, especially when they're apologetic and they're forthcoming about their missteps, versus someone like R. Kelly, who has never been vulnerable or like self-aware enough to be like, okay, I've messed up. He's completely denied every single time.
Part of the problem with cancel culture is because it's become this culture, and it's kind of like, ooh, it's almost its own trend.
It
in
really
that
is.
sense, like, ooh, it's trendy. Maybe I should try canceling this too. But then we kind of jump the gun and we might be pre-canceling when we should take this moment to teach before we pre-cancel.
Exactly.
Which I think was kind of what they were getting to, like having these random discussions about whether it needs to really be removed or not.
So I mean, not just making us laugh, making us think. Okay, because that is how Black women do things. All right, we do not screw around. Let's go on to the Motown Meltdown sketch, which, y'all. First of all, I love that they were all dressed as men. That they committed to the deeper voices, which I enjoyed.
Impressive. I enjoyed the hair.
The hair, yo,
the hair.
Because Robin's character had the pressed, bouffant kind of thing.
Up, and then was it Danielle had very slick. Gabrielle Dennis had very slicked all the way down, very jelly, oily.
Yeah.
The edges were laid.
So Robin Thede played Claude, who was the lead singer of the group, who shows up and says that he's going to flip it and dip it on this new family song about ice cream. And I think that this video, to me, what this was showing us the moment where Black music became overly sexualized to the point where you can't really listen to it with your kids. I feel like this was that moment in history.
And it proves that, it's been happening for decades. They like to say, oh, nowadays the music is so hypersexualized, it's inappropriate. You can listen to Marvin Gaye songs.
Oh, Marvin Gaye was
the classic.
You hit it. I was right there.
Don't do that.
When your parents were put on some Al Green and Barry White, I'm like, these, take them off. I'm like,
okay.
What? That was aggressive, Mom. What do you mean?
Barry be hollering at you. Take off your pants.
I'm nervous.
It just has more of a mature classic tone. Right. It's not as maybe abrasive as they would consider rap, but it still has those.
The thing is, I'm sure back then it was probably just as abrasive.
Yeah.
True. In the 70s.
And I love that they tried to each of the singers tried to bring it back to a more woman-centric, positive kind of thing, like Quinta Brown with that. There's always in a classic R&B song, there's always the deep voice spoken section, right? There's always the deep voice who does the hey baby, I know you're not happy, that voice.
He's apologizing.
So, right. So I love that Quinta, who's the smallest of the group, has the deepest voice in this, and her whole thing was about validating women's experience, which, come on, y'all. Just stop blowing our minds. It's the first episode. We're not ready.
We just got started.
And then we come to find out that Claude, the one who wanted to make it all super sexual, Claude is the great-grandfather of Chris Brown.
Chris Brown.
As if that explains
That's
Chris
how
Brown.
his legacy lives on.
Made a lot more sense.
It's oh, right.
Now we get it.
Awesome. Oh my gosh. So, okay, there's so many sketches. Okay, now let's get into hotepery. Now, Sade and I, while we were watching this, we thought to ourselves, will white folks get this? Because hotep is a stereotype in Black culture of a kind of person. And it's a kind of person who has done a deep dive on Kemetic Nubian history. Theoretically, they've done the deep dive, but they may not have actually done the reading. They just want to wear the jewelry and the head wraps.
Pro-Black.
Right, they are super pro-Black. And so, and hotep actually I think is a greeting in Kemetic. I think it means hello. Oh. I could be wrong. I'm gonna go check my Queen Afua book and double check. But
and listen to Lady Smith Black Mom.
Right, I'm gonna check my stuff. But what I loved about this is that the stereotypes that go with hotepery are some of them they're anti anything Western culture. So she starts with, why are Black men doing therapy and smiling? Hoteps there's this whole idea that polygamy is okay for men, they can have multiple wives, whatever. There was a whole thing about the way they use words, philosophizing and sciencizing, and and this is actually this joke is a long one among Black comedy people, because back in the 90s In Living Color did a whole thing about hotep with the guy who was in prison who just misused all the words. He would just like make up words, and so like it's a long running joke. I'm glad that they picked up on it. I also loved though that the woman who was doing it, Robin Thede, talks about, she's light skinned, and she talks about how she hates her green eyes.
Yeah.
Because there's also this sort of running stereotype that like very light colored black folks tend to be the most militant.
Pro. And we're almost like, it sounds bad to say, but it's almost like, are you trying to compensate or overcompensate? Because there's also the whole like colorism for sure, and the whole like light skin. You get preferential treatment, which I think you should be aware of, but I don't think you need to like prove yourself. Overdo it, because then it's like, I'm also, why are you overdoing it?
Right.
You know, are you also hiding something else?
Exactly.
So I don't know.
So I mean, we're giving you it's not just comedy, it's education, right? Because now you're learning about colorism and what that means in black communities. Y'all, there's some next level stuff right here. Next level stuff. My favorite sketch, Bad Bitch Support Group.
I love that.
My favorite part was the clipboard, the Fashion Nova clipboard. Did you guys see
that?
that?
When I saw it, I like pointed out the screen. I was like, oh my gosh, a Fashion Nova clipboard. And the whole thing is because they're running an experiment.
Yeah.
You know?
And that you know, the woman in the group who wanted to see what it's like to just be an okay bitch.
Wear
was
basic
already
flip-flops at home.
She's already on the maximum dose of foxycodone.
And don't wear any eyelashes as a okay bitch.
Bald
eyelashes. And she was unbothered by her bald eyelashes. Like, what?
But don't get it wrong, there's a difference between being okay and basic. So it's basic, okay, bad bitch.
Yeah.
There's a
and
hierarchy.
I think that the casting in this was so incredibly perfect because who is a badder bitch than Angela Bassett? The title of the episode is Angela Bassett is a badass bitch. You really cannot improve upon Angela Bassett. You cannot.
I mean, she's the queen we've always loved, but now the rest of the world is finally seeing it. We've known the whole entire time.
Yeah.
I'm like, she kills it. She's like, how old now?
And she's got to be in her 60s,
and it's
right?
more than just like how great she looks, even though she looks phenomenal. Incredible. But she's an incredible actress, and it has been forever.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's her time. This episode being dedicated to her kind of just tops off how much they've really thought about this show, and even just being like, almost like some of them are new talent, emerging talent. They're like, let's pay homage to someone who's paved the way, Angela
for all
Bassett,
of us to be here,
and then put her in this sketch about bad bitches.
Bad bitches, and then to have her in leading a support group that also includes Laverne Cox, who. Right,
bad bitch
all around. And what was with the fro? I love her. What's she beautiful?
Amara La Negra, who's paving the way for the Afro-Latina community.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she makes music, she's acting, she's been in reality TV, and she's, you know, that's her message, is to spread love for the Afro-Latina community, bring, you know, more awareness to that they are here, they do exist.
They're just as beautiful, just as talented.
And she also has like a book about like believing in yourself and like just showing people that even within the culture, there's like colorism. So it's like, you know, just having her present there, they touched on like the different types of bad bitches in the black community.
And we see again, Gabrielle Dennis, amazing chameleon. Did you see? I didn't recognize her. I was like, oh wait, but
trying to be
the lace front.
Trying to be the okay bitch. I'm like, wait, is that it? She's just.
But I'm gonna say, I'm very content being an okay bitch. Like, their definition of what an okay bitch is, like, I don't want to wear eyelashes every single day, or, really?
I've got my lashes off.
Ain't nobody mad at you, girl. I mean, we know you're a badass bitch. We don't have to, like,
okay, I'm not gonna lie.
I will call I'm a badass bitch, right? But sometimes I want to have okay bitch days, like where I don't have to wear the eyelashes, I don't have to have a full face, but I still feel like a badass. You know?
Nice. I get it. I am an okay bitch who very often presents as basic and can occasionally dress up to badass.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine. I feel like it's good if everybody has like their own level of where they want to be.
Right.
Yeah.
What I did like was that even though they brought up men a little bit, it wasn't like I do this mainly for my man.
Right.
You know, the one of them, she was like, I don't know, I don't want my man to see that, you know,
without my face on,
my makeup, and then Angela Bassett's like, oh, that's the best part, is when he sees me in all my naturalness. I was like, I love it. That's when she's baddest.
Yes. Yes.
She's baddest.
When she is natural and he is worshiping at the altar of her natural beauty.
Yes. I was like, yes, queen, yes, bad bitch.
Yes. And I think it's important to remember, because we don't need to be out here spending all this money on trying to look a certain way when who we are in our natural state is
more
beautiful.
than good enough.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Until you realize it's being run by Fashion Nova.
Yeah.
Yes.
Take my money. Take my money.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so guys, I told you that our fourth panelist was gonna join us, and so she's sneaking in the door right now. Neema, come sit down, girl. Hurry up. Hurry. Y'all.
I'm here like I never been gone.
Okay.
Hey, y'all.
She's been here the whole time. You guys just
The whole time.
This is Neema Skye.
Hello. Miss Skye's in the building. What's up, y'all?
Yes, y'all. So we are about to move on to the Invisible Skye sketch.
Okay.
The Invisible Spy. I said Invisible
Yeah,
Skye.
you said Skye. I was
Because
like,
you were invisible for the first part of this. That is perfect. She was invisible for the first part of our show, but now she is visible, so we can talk about the Invisible Spy. Now, I'm gonna pose this question to the group. Why was she invisible?
Oh, can I take it?
Please.
Because we
Yes,
talked
please,
about
take
it.
the floor.
No, wait, no, you don't talk about it.
I mean, we already
talked about it.
had
You guys
thoughts.
tell me.
Okay.
Yeah, tell me.
What do I think about the invisible? You know, it was so fun. 'Cause the thing that was funny is that they kept thinking that she was somebody else, and like as soon as Kelly walked in, I was like, oh, of course it's Kelly, and it wasn't Kelly. And then the fact that her and the other girl that she was supposed to be, I guess, like attacking or bringing down, they looked just alike. That was interesting. So it was just like, I felt like maybe there was some type of underlying meaning there. It's like, you know, you're going after,
totally is.
it's like you're actually trying to kill the monster that looks like you, and all of a sudden, like, you're gone, and then she comes back, and it's just, she saves the day, and I'm just like, I felt like it was an underlying meaning. I feel like there was another message behind
There is.
her being invisible.
We're gonna talk about it.
Okay.
So wait, Simone, did you have an idea of why you thought she was invisible?
Well, one, just being a black woman, you always have to make sure you are not better than everyone else, but basically, like, you have to overperform. But also, I'm going to assume maybe because she was just a curvier woman, and that's seen as less
Ding.
valuable,
Yes.
or you don't meet the standard, so people don't look at you, or they don't validate you as much.
So here's my take, right? Okay, Sade, we talked about it a little bit.
Yeah.
She's invisible because she's fat. Now, here's the thing. I have a firm belief that in every black woman group, there is always a big girl. Everybody know that you got to have a big girl in your black woman crew. So when I heard about this show, I was like, they best to have a big girl, because you know.
Right, she makes the group.
Right, yeah,
Come
there
on
has
now.
to be a big girl. And I love that they're talking about it, because one of the things, as a fat woman and a fat activist myself, one of the things that I talk about a lot is the fact that we are in some ways invisible, that people don't take us into account as much as they would someone who was closer to the beauty standard, right? And so I loved that even among women, because she's in this spy organization where everybody's a woman, right? You got
Right.
Gina Torres sitting there, Gina Torres.
Yeah.
She
You
looked
got
amazing.
Gina Torres, you got Kelly Rowland.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay.
Slaving.
Slaying everywhere.
Yes.
And the invisible person was the big girl. And that's sort of a thing that if you're the big girl in the group, you do experience this, like, you know,
People
we go
don't
to the
see
club.
you.
Yeah, we go to the club and you all are getting checked on, but I'm, you know what I mean? So like,
Right.
I thought that was such a great way to do it, and to do it in a way that didn't disempower the big girl.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, because she's a badass spy.
Yeah.
She
yeah,
was.
and it was never, mentioned, like, look at
Right.
the size. And I like that she was a spy. She broke into all of these high-class buildings, and she's always like, me. And they're like, what? And she's like, it was me. And they're like, oh. And I think it was also really interesting that when she has to go through the lasers, they made sure it was not made to be funny that she's going through the lasers and she's a bigger, curvier
Right.
woman.
It wasn't
Right.
because her butt would hit one of the lasers.
Yeah,
Right.
it was
Right.
not that. What was funny was that she was doing double dutch to
Yeah.
get
Oh.
through.
And
then
dance
the lasers
moves.
were bending.
Right.
So I like the comedic, essence of it is not meant to be her size. But,
Exactly.
you know.
Yeah.
But then it's to prove that yeah, you guys think she's overweight, so she's invisible, you don't see her, yet that's her superpower. Like, she's proving that you may not expect much of me, but I'm going to, like, completely exceed what you think I'm capable of.
Yeah, it's her, you know, your message, your message. You ever hear that? So, like, you might want to think that because she's a big girl, she's not going to be as confident or competent, but she double dutched on some lasers and then ended with the electric slide.
Yes.
Then she gets to the place where the villain is and discovers that the villain, played by Nicole looks exactly like her. Yes. So no wonder they're both invisible. And interestingly, so, like, you're right, I really do agree with you, Neema, that, like, her arch nemesis in this scene is someone who looks exactly like her.
Absolutely.
But is as capable, as accomplished, just on the evil end.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. She's good and the other girl's evil.
Yeah. Loved it. So, I mean, y'all, like we said, levels, education. This show is everything. Last Dance Biter.
Dance Biter.
The Dance Biter.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
It was, okay, at first it was like, okay, the dance moves were kind of funny, but I just got a really interesting vibe where I was like, whoa, we're doing like a sort of weird sci-fi horror thing because Black people don't really do sci-fi horror things.
True.
She takes her out and, like,
it was very Jordan Peele-y for me.
Yeah,
it was like,
you know, like, and the way she was looking at them in the club, and then it was like weird head moves. I was like, it looked mine with The Ring too a little bit. And I was like, we don't do The Ring. You know, we don't crawl out of TV.
Is she like one of the tethered? Did you guys see?
Yeah, she was, and then all of a sudden she started being like an alien, and I'm like, so basically we've gone back to you got served one-on-one.
Right. And what's so awesome though is that one of these women was in You Guys. No, was it you? Never mind.
Really?
Sorry. No, my bad. Okay, so what I loved though was that the alien was just trying to do what her girlfriend was doing, which was get her ex's attention. Yeah. So the alien had to come steal the dance moves to get her alien lover's attention.
It's the same. Trials are the same on Earth, outer space.
Okay.
It's rough out here.
Okay.
Universal.
These dating streets is not for the faint of heart. Okay.
If aliens with superpowers
have to come here and steal our dance moves, which again also speaks to appropriation, right? Like, I mean, we weren't even they didn't even really like have to hit us on the head with it, except to say
they're coming to steal what we do best, and they're like, oh well, we got to figure out how, like, they're just magic. You know what I mean?
Like, Black people have been at the foundation of just pop culture in general. Yeah, we don't get our flowers or our credit enough.
We create culture, and we don't just create culture on Earth. We do it on a galactic level.
Always,
all around,
all around. We have to be the best at everything.
Word. And so finally, the show ends with them back in the living room, arguing over the fact that Quinta's phone got broken, and then we come to find out that, you know, Robin says it's not the end of the world that your phone is broken, and then
it really is the end of the world.
Yeah,
because that's the reality of when you break your phone.
Yeah. And also, I think it feels that to a lot of us, I think we feel like we're in some sort of end of the world, like what's happening on a global scale, on a national level. Like we are experiencing so much trauma and drama that a lot of us are like, oh my God, the world is ending. So,
or even when it comes to police brutality and Black men and just Black women in general, but specifically Black men, because they criminalize them just based on the color of their skin. Yeah. It's almost like we're like an elimination of our race through that. So it could even be looked at it that way.
So, I mean, right, like all the levels, because they're not just giving us comedy, they're giving you commentary. I think that this is my new favorite show, a Black Lady sketch show. We will be here next Sunday at 3 p.m. to talk about the next episode. Ladies, let's talk a little bit about where people can find you on the interwebs.
Yes. You guys can find me at Simone A. Thomas on Instagram and Twitter.
Sada A. Spence on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You can search it.
Neema Skye on all social media platforms.
And I'm at Nikki Bailey _. We are out of time, but we still have so much to talk about. We didn't talk about our top 3. We have special segments. We have news. We have gossip. Next week, we're getting into all of it, okay? So make sure to join us back here next week, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern.
No CP time.
No CP time. We will be on time.
That's right. Excellence.
Because even though we understand
Black excellence.
Right, black excellence. And black folks, we understand that time is a construct, but we also know we got to keep a clock. Okay, so thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you next time here at AfterBuzz TV.
Bye.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.